Life has a strange way of teaching us lessons we don't want to learn. When we're younger, we imagine that everything will eventually make sense, that happiness, success, and peace will arrive on their own. We picture a future where things fall neatly into place, where hard moments magically resolve themselves, and where someone comes along to guide us, protect us, or fix the things that feel broken. It's comforting to believe that. It gives us a sense of security, even if it's just an illusion. But as we grow older, reality starts to crack through those illusions. We begin to notice that the world doesn't work the way we thought it would. People don't always treat us fairly. Opportunities don't always come when we expect them. Love doesn't always last. And happiness doesn't fall into our laps just because we're good people. It can feel unfair. It can feel heavy. And at times, it can even feel cruel. Now, most people avoid talking about this. They hide behind motivational quotes, behind smiles on social media, behind the illusion that everything is perfect. But deep down, they know the truth. Deep down, they feel it every time they're alone, every time they fail, every time life reminds them that the world owes them nothing. The harsh realities of life aren't something we can run from forever. They catch up with us, whether we're ready or not. But here's the part no one tells you. Facing those truths is what sets you free. When you stop pretending, when you stop waiting, when you stop sugarcoating life and finally look at it for what it really is, that's when things start to change. Because while the truth is harsh, it's also powerful. It strips away the lies that hold you back and forces you to see what you're really capable of. That's what this video is about. 5 harsh realities that most people don't want to admit. 5 truths that, if you're willing to face them, will shift the way you see your life forever. This won't be easy to hear. Some of it may sting. You might even resist it at first. But I promise, if you let these truths sink in, you'll walk away stronger, clearer, and more prepared for the life you're meant to live. So take a deep breath, open your mind, and let's begin. Reality number 1. No one is coming to save you. This is one of the hardest truths to accept in life. No one is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your friends, not your boss, not a partner, not the government, not a miracle. For a long time, many of us live with the quiet hope that someone will notice our struggles and step in to fix them. We imagine that at some point, life will reward us for our pain, that things will magically get better, that one day everything will just click without us having to make the first move. But here's the reality. It doesn't work like that. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, once things calm down, I'll start? Or, when the right person comes into my life, everything will change. How many times have you thought, if only someone would give me a chance, then I'd finally be where I want to be? We build our lives around these expectations, waiting for perfect conditions, waiting for a hero, waiting for permission. And while we wait, time slips away. Opportunities pass us by. Years go by in silence. The harsh truth is this. You are your own rescue team. You are your own savior. If you're waiting for someone else to change your life, you'll be waiting forever. Because no matter how much people may love you, no matter how much they want the best for you, no one else can walk your path. No one else can fight your battles the way you need them to be fought. No one else can build your dreams brick by brick, day by day. That responsibility falls to you, and only you. And I know that sounds heavy. It feels overwhelming to realize that you're the one who has to take full responsibility. Because if you don't, who will? But here's the other side of that truth. It's also liberating. When you finally stop waiting for someone to save you, you stop giving your power away. You realize that you've had the ability to change your life all along. You realize that the pen has been in your hand, but you've been waiting for someone else to write your story. Think about people you admire, Leaders, creators, visionaries, survivors. None of them became who they are because someone came and rescued them. They became who they are because they looked around, saw that no one was coming, and said, "Then I'll do it myself." That shift, taking responsibility instead of waiting, is the moment everything changes. Of course, that doesn't mean you can't have help. It doesn't mean you won't meet people who support you, guide you, or inspire you along the way. But even then, it's still you who has to take the step forward. Help is useless if you don't pick yourself up and move. Encouragement means nothing if you don't act on it. So ask yourself, where in your life are you still waiting for a rescue that will never come? Are you waiting for motivation to magically appear before you start? Are you waiting for someone to give you permission to chase what you truly want? Are you waiting for a relationship to heal your loneliness, or for success to build your confidence, or for luck to erase your struggles? Because the longer you wait, the more life passes you by. Reality number 2. Time is the most valuable currency. If there's one thing people take for granted more than anything else, it's time. We live as if our days are unlimited, as if tomorrow is guaranteed, as if we'll always have one more chance. We put off dreams, we delay conversations, we postpone the things that matter most. We tell ourselves, "I'll start next week," or "One day, when I'm ready, I'll go for it." But here's the truth most of us don't want to face. Time is the most valuable currency you will ever have, and it's the only currency you can never earn back once it's gone. Think about money for a second. If you lose money, you can find ways to earn it again. If you lose a job, you can search for another. If you lose possessions, you can replace them. But if you lose time, if you waste years on the wrong things, if you spend decades living someone else's life, if you let your hours slip away to distractions, you can never buy those moments back. That's it. They're gone. And yet, we treat our time like it's worthless. We hand it over to people who drain us, to activities that numb us, to habits that keep us stuck. We spend hours scrolling, comparing, procrastinating, living in someone else's world instead of building our own. We binge shows. We get lost in endless noise. We avoid the silence that might force us to face ourselves. Meanwhile, the clock keeps ticking. And no matter how much we ignore it, one day we'll look up and realize how much we've given away. The sad part is that most people don't realize the value of time until it's almost gone. You hear it in the voices of the elderly who say, "I wish I had chased my dreams while I still could." You see it in people who worked their whole lives for comfort and security, only to realize they never truly lived. You feel it in the regrets of those who lost someone suddenly and thought they'd always have more time to say what they needed to say. And maybe you've felt it too, that sting of regret when you realize you've wasted precious hours on things that don't matter. Maybe you've looked back on months or years and thought, where did all that time go? What do I even have to show for it? That realization hurts, but it's also a wake-up call. Because the truth is, every day is a chance to spend your time differently. Think of time like a bank account you can't see. Every morning, you wake up with a deposit, 24 hours. How you spend it determines the kind of life you live. But unlike money, there's no borrowing from tomorrow, no overdraft, no loans. Once those 24 hours are spent, they're gone forever. And the tragedy is, most of us spend that account carelessly, as if there will always be more. But one day there won't be. One day, your account will hit zero, and you won't know when that day is coming until it arrives. So the question is, how are you spending your hours? Are you spending them on distractions or on building the life you want? Are you wasting them on people who don't value you or investing them in relationships that matter? Are you letting fear and comfort steal your days? Or are you using your time to grow, to learn, to live fully? Because whether you choose to use your time wisely or not, it's still passing. And here's the harshest part. Most people will realize this truth too late. They'll keep saying, someday, until someday never comes. They'll keep trading their hours for things that mean nothing until they reach the end and wonder why they feel so empty. Don't let that be you. Don't wait until you're older, looking back on your life with regret, to realize that time was your most precious possession all along. Reality number 3. Most people don't care about your problems. Here's a truth that feels cold at first, but it's one of the most freeing realizations you'll ever have. Most people don't care about your problems, not in the way you think they do, not in the way you wish they did. When you're hurting, when you're struggling, when life feels heavier than you can carry, it's natural to look around and wonder, where is everyone? Why doesn't anyone see how much I'm going through? You hope that people will notice, that they'll show up, that they'll listen deeply and carry some of the weight for you. Sometimes they do. Sometimes, for a moment, someone offers a hand, a kind word, a piece of support. But most of the time, people are too busy with their own battles to carry yours. And at first, that hurts. It feels like the world is indifferent, like people are selfish, like no one cares enough. But the reality is, every single person you know is carrying something too. Everyone has bills to pay, insecurities they fight, dreams they chase, heartbreaks they're healing from, mistakes they're trying to recover from. The truth is, people aren't ignoring you because they don't care. They're just wrapped up in their own storms, the same way you're wrapped up in yours. Think about it. How often do you notice other people's silent struggles? The coworker who smiles every day but cries at night. The friend who's always making jokes but is drowning in loneliness. The stranger in traffic who just lost someone they love. Most of the time, we don't notice. Not because we don't care, but because we're so tangled up in our own lives that we don't see what others are carrying. So when you expect the world to stop and focus on your pain, you set yourself up for disappointment. You wait for people to check in, to understand, to rescue you, and when they don't, you feel abandoned. But here's the harsh truth. The world doesn't owe you that. Your problems are yours to solve. Your healing is your responsibility. Your life is yours to build. And while that may sound lonely, there's freedom in it. Because once you stop expecting others to carry your burdens, you stop being let down when they don't. You stop waiting for sympathy to fuel your strength. You stop handing your power away. Instead, you learn to rely on yourself. You learn to dig deep and face the storm without waiting for someone else to hold the umbrella. That doesn't mean people won't care at all. Some will. A few will love you deeply and offer support in the ways they can. Treasure those people. They're rare. But don't confuse support with salvation. People can walk beside you, but they cannot walk for you. They can encourage you, but they cannot live your life for you. They can listen, but they cannot fix what only you can face. And here's another hidden gift in this truth. If most people don't care about your problems, it also means they're not judging you as much as you think they are. You carry shame, embarrassment, guilt, and you imagine that the whole world is watching, whispering, criticizing. But in reality, most people are too focused on their own problems to even notice yours. They don't lie awake at night thinking about your mistakes. They're thinking about their own. That means you can stop living in fear of what everyone thinks. The spotlight you feel on you? It's mostly in your head. So instead of waiting for others to care enough to push you forward, take that responsibility into your own hands. Be your own advocate. Be your own comfort. Be your own reminder that you are capable of more. Because the truth is, the person who needs to care the most about your problems is you. Reality number 4. Failure is guaranteed, but quitting is optional. There's a word that almost everyone fears: failure. From the time we're young, we're taught to avoid it at all costs. Get good grades so you don't fail. Work hard so you don't lose. Play it safe so you don't fall. We're told that failure is embarrassing, shameful, even dangerous. And because of that, most people spend their entire lives running from it. But here's the truth. Failure is not only a part of life, it is guaranteed. If you try, if you push, if you dare to reach for something beyond your comfort zone, you will stumble. You will fall short. You will face rejection, setbacks, and disappointments. That's not a maybe. That's a promise. Failure is inevitable. And yet, here's the difference. The people who succeed, the people who grow, the people who build meaningful lives are not the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who refuse to quit when failure shows up. Because while failure is guaranteed, quitting is always a choice. Think about it. Every person you admire, athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders, has failed countless times. They've been told no, they've been rejected, they've faced setbacks that would break most people. But what separates them from the rest isn't that they avoided failure. It's that they didn't stop. They chose to see failure not as the end of the road, but as part of the road itself. Failure is a teacher. It shows you what doesn't work. It reveals your weaknesses. It humbles you. It tests you. It stretches you. Failure strips away the illusion that success is easy and forces you to confront whether or not you really want it. Because if you quit at the first sign of failure, maybe you didn't want it badly enough. But if you keep going, failure becomes fuel. It becomes proof that you're in the arena, proof that you're trying, proof that you're alive. But quitting? Quitting silences the lesson. Quitting takes the pain of failure and turns it into regret. And regret is heavier than failure will ever be. Because with failure, there's still another chance, another step, another try. But when you quit, you close the door yourself. You lock it. You walk away from your own potential. And years later, you look back and wonder what could have been, if only you hadn't stopped. Here's the thing. Failure hurts. Let's not sugarcoat it. It bruises your ego. It makes you question your worth. It whispers lies in your ear. You're not good enough. You'll never make it. Why even bother? That's why so many people quit, because they mistake the voice of failure for the truth. But failure's voice is not the truth. It's a test, and if you push past it, you'll find that every failure was preparing you for the next level. Think about when you learned to walk as a child. You fell hundreds of times. You stumbled, tripped, lost your balance, hit the floor. But you didn't quit. You didn't say, "Walking isn't for me." You got back up, and eventually you walked. Then you ran. That's the process of life. But somewhere along the way, we forget. We treat failure as a verdict instead of a step. So let me tell you this. Failure does not mean you are weak. Failure does not mean you are unworthy. Failure does not mean you should stop. Failure means you tried. Failure means you're alive enough to care. Failure means you're moving forward, even if it doesn't feel like it. The only thing that makes you weak, the only thing that makes you unworthy, the only thing that guarantees you'll never get where you want to go, is quitting. Reality number 5. Happiness isn't owed to you. We live in a world that tells us happiness is the ultimate goal. Movies, social media, advertisements, they all paint this picture that life is supposed to feel good most of the time. That if you find the right partner, the right job, the right house, the right lifestyle, happiness will just settle into your life like sunlight through an open window. And because of that, we grow up with this unspoken expectation that happiness is something life owes us. That if we do enough, if we wait long enough, if we're good enough, then happiness will eventually find its way to us. But here's the harsh truth. Happiness isn't owed to you. It's not a guarantee. It's not something that just appears one day as a reward for surviving. Life does not owe you happiness simply because you exist. And if you spend your life waiting for it to arrive on its own, you'll be waiting forever. Look around. How many people do you know who are constantly chasing happiness but never seem to catch it? They buy new things, move to new places, enter new relationships, switch jobs, distract themselves with entertainment, always believing that the next thing will finally make them happy. But when the excitement fades, they're left with the same emptiness, the same restlessness, the same sense that something is missing. That's because happiness doesn't come from the outside in. It's not something you stumble into. It's something you create, moment by moment, choice by choice. And that's what makes this truth both painful and powerful. Painful because it forces us to let go of the fantasy that happiness is guaranteed. Powerful because it puts the responsibility back in our hands. If happiness isn't owed to us, then that means we're free to build it for ourselves. But here's the thing. Happiness doesn't look like what we think it does. It's not a constant high. It's not an endless stream of excitement. It's not waking up every day with a smile plastered to your face. Real happiness is quieter. It's steadier. It's not found in what you get, but in how you choose to see and live your life. Happiness is found in discipline. Yes, discipline. In choosing to do the hard things that build your future instead of indulging in what feels good for a moment, but leaves you empty later. Happiness is found in growth, in looking back and realizing you're not the same person you were a year ago, because you pushed yourself through discomfort instead of avoiding it. Happiness is found in meaning, when you live in alignment with your values, when your actions reflect who you want to be, when you pour yourself into something greater than just momentary pleasure. These are the 5 harsh realities of life. No one is coming to save you. Time is your most valuable currency. Most people don't care about your problems. Failure is guaranteed, but quitting is optional, and happiness isn't owed to you. Most people will hear these truths and run from them because they're uncomfortable. They strip away the excuses and force us to face ourselves. But you're not most people. You're here. You're listening. And that means a part of you is ready to stop hiding and start living. If this video spoke to you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need the reminder today. Until next time, take care of yourself and keep walking your path. Thanks for watching.